And another big story now, a new and unsettling twist in the story of all those Americans with contaminated water in their homes in West Virginia. Thousands have been told the tap water is once again safe. But tonight, a new warning: pregnant women should not drink it, raising the question, what's the truth about what's in the water?
Authorities say 7,500 gallons of a toxic chemical used to process coal leaked into the Elk River on Thursday from Freedom Industries, a company just upstream from a water treatment plant. The toxic spill poisoning the water that serves 300,000 people.
Nora, the chemical began leaking from a hole in a storage tank in the facility behind me. The Department of Environmental Protection is still trying to figure out how that hole got there and exactly how much of the material has leaked out. Some reports have said as much as 5,000 gallons has leaked into the water.
If there's any little tiny bit of good news here in Charleston, it's that state officials say their testing of the water shows that the contamination level is going down. It's just not down far enough.
And tonight, the state has ordered the company believed to be responsible for this chemical spill to cease and desist and to inspect all its tanks. Meanwhile, FEMA is on its way here to Charleston to help deliver water to those residents who can no longer turn on the tap.
Water is a prevalent feature in the state of West Virginia. And certainly some of its most remarkable places are its rivers.
We need to let people know we've just received this information from the governor's office. It's a do not use the water order for a number of counties in our viewing area.
But it was just kind of a panic thing, thinking that the water is out. There is no water, do not use your water.
I was over at the Capitol and I remember coming back and smelling something in the air, but not really thinking anything of it. I think that, at that point, no one had any clue.
This event started on Twitter with Governor Earl Ray Tomlin's initial tweet a little after 5:30 that day. And it became a Twitter event. It became a social media event. And I think it's one of the best examples I've seen of the way social media very quickly engages large numbers of people and can give quick snippets of information, updates to a continuing story in a very effective way.
Seeing the infrastructure come into place basically for emergency water rationing was interesting, not only because no one was prepared for it, but also trying to fathom what it was like to be completely cut off, to not have an appropriate supply of drinking water, or to only have to be able to shower in a public space every couple of days if you're lucky.
You see how dependent then we have become as a state on our few really clean, productive water sources like the Elk River. And as we lose rivers and their value of drinking water and become dependent on very few, then we become very susceptible to something that would seem like to be a localized event. And instead, that localized event, it touched a third of the state, the residents. So there's a lesson in that, that the less we protect, the more dependent we become on a very, very scarce resource, and the more vulnerable then we are to spills like this.
The first 3 days after the spill, people were coming to work unshowered, basically cleaning up as best you could with like baby wipes or some sort of whatever towels you had laying around that you could clean yourself with. Bottled water, bar of soap, and a washcloth was about the best you could do. It became pretty clear pretty quickly that no one in Kanawha County or virtually anywhere in West Virginia was ready for something like that to happen.
As the days wore on, everybody understood the gravity of the situation. It was a lot bigger incident than we were giving it respect for. When the all clear was called, we were pretty early adopters in trusting the water system again, because we are so close to the source that we felt that flushing was going to sufficiently get it out of our pipes in the short term. I mean, and we still noticed things. You know, the first shower that I took after everything had been flushed, and we followed the instructions to the letter about how West Virginia American Water suggested that you flush your pipes. And the two biggest things that I noticed was that, you know, my skin did feel a little raw, would probably be the best way to put it. I mean, not bad, but definitely you could tell there was a little something not right. And the soap didn't rinse properly. You know, we don't have really hard water in Charleston, and when it took me a considerable amount of time to get all of the shampoo out of my hair, we thought, well, maybe we should wait a couple more days. Really, West Virginians on all levels and all walks of life would serve themselves well to use the chemical spill as an excuse to be ready and proactive for the negatives that will eventually occur in life.